for hosting the show. They are a wonderfully supportive arts organization that has given so many independent artists like myself a home. If you would like to help them weather the storm that is this pandemic while their brick and mortar theaters are shuttered, please become a Patreon member. I know I am. I support them with a monthly donation. It's really easy. You go to patreon.com/Frigid New York, and you can get invites to virtual happy hours. And when the theaters open back up, you'll get tickets and drinks to shows, and they'll send you Penguin merch. So please help them out. They're an amazing arts organization, and we all want them to be here when this is all over, because they rock. Thank you. Hello, everyone. Welcome to another episode of Lifestyles of the Quarantined and Restless. And we have two very special people here today. We have Kim Alu. Hi, Kim.
Hi.
And Dana Shulman.
Me. Hi.
Now, I know that both of you are the masterminds behind Socially Distant Improv, which popped up, I feel like, in the first 24 hours of all of this social distancing.
Yeah. Oh, go ahead, Dana.
No, you go ahead.
Oh, no, you go ahead.
No, you go ahead.
Okay, stop.
Okay.
It's so funny. Dana and I were teaching. It was the last night that the People's Improv Theater opened, and we looked at each other.
March 12th.
Yeah, we looked at each other leaving the teacher's lounge, about to go teach our final classes for we didn't know how long, and we were like, God, this is gonna suck. We're not gonna be able to play together. And after class that night, Dana led like a makeshift jam in the back of Pioneer's Bar right next door, and had this thought of like, okay, well, I guess we're just gonna have to do improv online. And at the same time, I had texted Dana and was like, hey, what if, you live with an improviser, I live with an improviser. What if we just start getting our like couple friends who are improvisers together and do like a two-prov Tuesday on someone's channel? And then next thing I knew, Dana was like, I made an Instagram account. And then the next thing I knew, we had 1,500 followers and 75 live shows every week. And it's just been such a whirlwind.
Just accidentally like adopted an improv community and a comedy community. And so by the 13th, we had our first show with me and Adrian, which is on the street corner, back when you could do risky things like run into your friends on the street corner.
I watched that show. I loved your hand sanitizing pauses. They were great.
It was literally something that Dana and I both, I think I can say this, we both struggle with anxiety and depression. I know I do. And it's something that the community of improv and the comedy community surrounding New York City and the Pit especially is a big reason why I get up in the morning. And so the idea of it being gone was terrifying. And I think just the two of us were really desperate to try and just hold on to our community during a really scary time when we know that so many people were going to feel just like us. But we wanted to make sure that there was something there for people when they were ready to laugh and they were ready to take a minute and just kind of forget how crazy the world is right now. And it's wild, but I'm proud of what we've been able to keep going for so long. It's incredible. And Dana, stop, because you're going to make me cry.
Okay. The things I think that Socially Distant Improv did was it facilitated an immediate schedule for people, not only for the performers but also for the audience people. We're running it like it's a television channel where it's the same programming every week, so people know what they're looking for. I mean, there's specials that pop up, but like the fact that every morning at 10 a.m. you can see Mike and Sunny do two Bravo over coffee for 15 minutes, and they have a loyal fan audience. And like honestly, it was enough for me to just know that like my parents knew that I was doing okay because they could see me every day and doing my thing.
We got a message not too long ago from this random woman in Australia who found the account, I don't know how, and just messaged us this lovely message saying, thank you. I don't know any of you, but every time I tune in, you guys have something going, and it's just been nice to soothe my insomnia with some laughs. And it's like those are the moments where it's like, yeah, it may be really stressful at times. I know Dana and I are like barely sleeping while trying to keep this thing going. But it's like those moments where we have exactly like I got to see Willem today because I've been worried about him. And it's like, that's great. We're like having some sense of normalcy and consistency in a time of such chaos, I think is really important. Murphy's on the highway.
Murphy siding. So socially distant improv is more of like your penicillin. It just kind of happened. I love that even more. That's an even better origin story.
Like after the first week of working really hard, I had this moment of, oh my gosh, this is all going to go away in like a week when we go back to the real world. And I love all this, but that's also the best thing is that something has like come into existence now, which doesn't have to go away. So I love the fact
that was pretty optimistic of you to be like, in a week it'll be gone.
We were all in denial, Amanda. Fun. I have to shout out Storm Chaser. They're an LA, Los Angeles-based team, a 3-prov group, and they are doing a weekly show now on the channel, and they have mastered a new form that is like literally specific to Zoom, and it is incredible. They only do scene setups that would happen over a Zoom phone call, and it's incredible to watch the 3 of them work together. It is.
And there's teams like Student Driver and like Balsamic Intervention, like those are 2 of my teams, and like I saw Kim with the Janes the other day, but that are just doing wacky, like fun slap out thing, which is also really fun on Zoom, and we're better at it now a month and a half in. So going forward, whatever the new world looks like and feels like, I love knowing that when we all go back to our brick and mortars, which
they'll be there. I know.
Okay, we're trying to promote #comedy unity, which by the way looks very cleverly like community.
It does.
Yeah, so I think this is a thing that's going to exist forever.
I hope it exists forever. Because I think you're right. I think it's a great tool when all this is over for artists to stay connected. I know I've become better connected to people that I haven't necessarily kept the best in touch with before this. The 2 of you are also teachers. I think you mentioned that earlier. You teach at the Pit. Is that how you met?
Yes, actually. I was a student at the Pit first, and that's how Dana and I met. I was never her student, tragically, but she was my coach for a very short period of time for the Janes, right? And then
I hated her. I was like, oh, who is this girl that is overeager and wants to be in every scene, and she's so damn good, and I hate her. And she's young and has energy still. And I was like, I'm this grizzled veteran, and she's just like me, but she has more time and energy, and everyone likes her. And I'm like, oh, Kim wants to do this with us? Yes, I'm still relevant to a younger generation.
I'll take it. I'm in my 30s now, and so I'm like, yay, I'll take being the young one
You're in your 30s?
I'm 30 this year.
Wait, but you're not in your 30s?
No, I'm not in my 30s.
Talk to me when you're in your 30s, youngin'.
Okay, fine.
And my birthday was last week, and it was the freaking best. I hate saying it because I got probably, it was a rough week, because we're in quarantine and people are dying, and but it was as I don't know if it's healthy to just separate from the world and try to just have your birthday, but it was a great birthday. It was really nice to see everybody. Kim and our friends threw me a birthday party, and our friend Maggie wrote me a song, and
it was great. It was really
people showed up to my Zoom party that they didn't know was happening, and it was wonderful.
Yeah,
I think that's perfectly healthy for a birthday. I honestly think that it is like in this kind of a situation to not build in moments where you can say, I'm not going to pay attention right now. I think that's unhealthy. I think because then your brain will go crazy.
Exactly what you just said. Those moments of like, I'm just going to tune into this one. Like not everyone has a comedy community, right? Not everyone is a huge part, and not everyone has a huge network, and not everyone has a person that's going to throw them a 100-person Zoom birthday party, right? But maybe that person is alone in their apartment and is making coffee and turns on some dumb show and gets to see like two pretending to be drunk middle-aged New Jersey moms like doing an advice show, and it's like maybe it'll be the one thing that makes them laugh, and they're allowed to have that too. So
To Dana! Or with Dana.
Hi, we're in my apartment. This is my front door. Oh, I can't flip the camera around, so we're just gonna go up. This is our foyer. I don't know how to say that word. This is our cleaning station. This is where the masks and the wipes, we're almost out of wipes. So if anyone's got any extras, bring them to a hospital because I am not the most important person. This is Lysol, different gloves, hand sanitizer, alcohol. Great, that's my foyer. Now we're in my living room. That's my computer setup. And this is the Murphy Highway. That's where my cat likes to run up there. And now we're gonna walk through. Oh, great, we're walking through. Oh, I'm doing my tour guide backwards walking thing. And next stop on the campus tour, this is the between all the rooms. We call this Murphy's room. This is my bathroom. It has a bathtub. I spend a lot of time in there. It's the only place I can get away from my boyfriend. Shows up in the bathroom. This is my kitchen. I drink coffee right over there at that grind-proof coffee maker that I registered for at my wedding in 2004. Not married anymore, but thankful for the coffee maker. And now I'm walking into my bedroom. Hey, this is my bedroom. This is my quarantine partner, Giancarlo.
Hi, Giancarlo.
Hey, Giancarlo.
Hello.
Hi, Murphy.
Hello, Murphy.
And that's my living situation. There's a lot of light. We really enjoy sticking our heads out the window and cheering with our neighbors at 7 o'clock. It seems like it's for the essential workers, which it is, but it is also for the 2-year-old little girl who lives in the apartment across the street from us, who sticks her head out the window, and there's a guy that sticks his head out the window and plays a tambourine, and then we stick our heads out the window and dress like Superman or Spider-Man or something to make the little girl smile, and so it's about community also. So that's all I have to say about where I am.
Now, Kim, what's your situation like?
Well, I'm embarrassed because my bed is not made.
Then
Room that
it's up to you whether you show us or not.
But my living situation right now, I normally live in New York City, not too far from where Dana lives, but my boyfriend and I hightailed it out in New York, and we've been staying at my parents' house in New Jersey, which we're very lucky that I have family so close by. And yeah, it's a beautiful little country spot. Where we stay this is like our little bedroom area. It's nice and all wood, so it's very cozy. Unmade bed. And then out here is sort of like a little Sear and Rob in a chair where he likes to.
Hi, Rob.
Yes, there he is. And then the rest of the house, but I'm not going to bother with that. But this is our general where we spend most of our time is within these 2 rooms. I do all my teaching for the pit in this room. We do all of our shows for socially distant improv in these rooms. It's everything, all the magic happens in here.
It is.
I love that wood panel room.
Every time I see her in that wood paneling, I get very jealous.
Yeah, my
It's
parents
like
they call it the log cabin room. They stayed at a hotel like many years ago that had a room like this. And my mom, when we moved into this house, was like, I want a room that's like that room. And so they paneled all of even the door there's my bra.
Yes.
Yes. Like the door has the wood on it. It's
I love it.
very cozy.
I also say that one of my biggest, I think, one of my biggest successes in quarantine has been that my idea of what camera ready is has evolved so much that like getting ready to be on camera used to be such a stressful process of getting ready, and now I can literally go from bed to what I deem camera ready in like 4 minutes.
Yep.
Maybe less than that, maybe. And also that the secret to it is like hoops.
Yeah.
when we are finally allowed to go outside and hold hands and hug and be in spaces with more than 10 people again, without 6 feet in between us, what is the first thing you want to go do?
You said the first thing you're going to do when we're allowed to hug and stuff. The first thing I'm going to do is hug. Yeah. I'm gonna go hug crazy. I'm gonna hug. I will hug everyone. I haven't seen Kim in so long.
I know, it's wild. Like, I'm just sitting here thinking about that the other day, that, like, you know, we created this account, and we've been like running, I mean, in the span of the last 40 days or so, we started this account. It has an unbelievable amount of shows that are playing each weekly. On top of that, we've already done 2 festivals. One was a 25-hour comedy festival that ran. We had live content going for 25 straight hours. And then we did another one on 420, and that ran for 12 straight hours from 4:20 p.m. to 4:20 a.m. We had amazing guests on that. And like, this whole time we're doing all of this, like, I have not seen Dana
or Tom
or Tom or any of the performers
that we see every day.
So it's wild. Yeah, I think like the first thing that either of us is going to want to do is just like go see each other and touch each other's faces and hug in a big pile. I mean, we've joked so many times that like our group of friends is going to be what brings coronavirus back, just because we're going to be on top of each other. I just want to do a show. I just want, you know, that's the thing. Like, we want socially distant improv and like this virtual world of improv to still exist when we all come back. But like, it will never replace that in the theater, brick and mortar, performing with your teammates in the same space. Nothing will replace that.
We are getting all sorts of cool people in our classes, like healthcare providers and people that are really struggling and having a hard time right now, and it's a good release for them. And a lot of people who haven't taken improv class before are showing up for our classes.
I gotta shout out my student Adrian. I don't feel comfortable giving his last name, but Adrian, if you're watching, hi. He's a healthcare professional who works at a hospital in Queens, and he was taking my class a couple weeks ago, and he is such a natural, and said that he never would have had the courage to take an in-person improv class, and there was something about the screen that made it feel more approachable, and it just brought me so much joy to hear that. Somebody who is so good at it, I mean, genuinely so good at improv naturally, was able to find that joy and passion with it in this weird, dark time. And especially someone who is on the front lines every single day. It's unbelievable that he would decide to spend the end of his week with us is an honor.
I had a lady who was taking care of a 90-year-old woman who was in quarantine alone, you know, and like she was like having a really hard caregiver time, you know, and she came and took a class with us for an hour, and people create characters, and now we're doing online shows for some of those classes, and it's really been a really beautiful thing. So support your live theaters at this time however you can, your brick and mortars, and I'm really thinking about all of our friends at UCB right now, because that's really tough.
This series, Lifestyles of the Quarantined and Restless, is a part of Frigid New York's online content. And I know they were just denied some arts grants. That's been my personal artistic home for the past, 4 or 5 years. And so it's, support, find your local theaters that you love, and find their Patreon accounts, find their Venmo handles, take classes, because while I do believe a lot of them will still be there on the other side, maybe in different variations, the risk and the threat of them not being there is very real. Is there anything else that you guys are doing to fill your time?
I'm taking a class, an online Harvard class. I'm taking, so that's something I'm doing just in my spare time, because I felt like, we have time, now's the time. And Harvard's offering all these free classes. So they'd have one on the like chemistry of cooking. And I always like cooking. So I was like, oh, it's really interesting. I encourage everybody out there, go check it out. There's one on justice that I really want to take. That seems like it would be like I'd go to bed screaming every night because it's all about ethics and how our justice system is failing. And so I'm like, ooh, I'm all fired up about that. Yeah, I mean, but other than that, I think our time is just mostly socially distant improv and teaching and trying to find the normalcy amongst this new world that we're living in.
I'm teaching. I have some of my teaching jobs still exist. I'm teaching a running class for kids in a half hour, so that'll be fun.
Yeah.
Wow.
And I've been with some of my runners because I coach running also.
This has been an emotionally cleansing, cathartic, and just all around good times. Connecting with an old friend, meeting a new friend. Because Kim, I met you for the first time today. This is full circle wonderfulness. Before we go, you just mentioned you're going to be on Old School Sketch Show. Is that on a Zoom or?
I'm not quite sure yet, but I think it'll be on the Pitts Facebook Live.
Yeah. Okay. And are there any other shows coming up on Socially Distant Improv that you want to plug really quick?
Just tune in. I mean, I will say this, we are prepping to do another festival. It's looking like it's going to be on May 4th for May the 4th Be With You. Another 12-hour comedy festival. I'm going to be putting up the link for the job form to submit that. So up on our Instagram page, it will be sitting in our bio. It will be the link there. And there'll also be a link to it on our website. So check that out. If you've got an act or something weird that you feel like you haven't seen us doing on the channel yet, then like please submit. We want to have a nice, diverse, interesting selection of content. So definitely submit. I think that's the only thing. Go to Socially Distant Improv on Instagram and just watch the shows because there's something there for everybody.
Thank you. And I wish you guys, I mean, I don't feel like you need the luck, but I wish you the luck with Socially Distant and with your classes.
There was a backdrop here. There was a big bright yellow, like John Carlos photography backdrop.
Yeah.
I was living in a 2-foot cube for like a month and a half. And like right here because I thought I had to. And then recently, as in like 2 days ago, I took down the backdrop and now I can do like this in my Zoom calls. Like last night I was like singing around and an improv show. It was like I specifically arranged these shelving units over here so they could be presentable, including that pineapple. And that is a chick with running sneakers, therefore a running chick.